Hey, what's up? It's Hesohi. I hope that you are well. Today's video is going to be a short little demonstration on how I set up my mixer in a live and in a studio setting to use the effects channels from the Octatrack and a send and return synths so that I can use the Octatrack effects on anything plugged into any input on the mixing desk. And we start off with some cables that I've just arranged in snakes. So I have a snake for the analog rhythm, I have a snake for the MPC Live, and I have a snake for the Octatrack. So we're going to show you the setup, and hopefully everything works out well. Thanks for checking it out. So here we are mixer side. And what we're going to do is we're going to use the Octatrack as an effects unit. So if you have any sort of outboard gear that has an input and output that allows you to use its internal effects on external gear, or if you have old school rack unit things such as like a DP4 or a Quadverb or something of that nature, that is just effects unit, or maybe even a pedal board that you would like to use to affect more than just one instrument, this setup will allow you to choose whatever you want that's plugged into your mixing desk and send it effects. So we're going to be using the main output from the Octatrack, also because I use the Octatrack as a sampler, and so any other outputs that would be coming out on the Octatrack would also be coming out on this channel, the way this would be set up. So we'll take the green and the orange cable and plug them into two channels on the mixer so that I get a stereo input onto the mixer from the Octatrack's mains. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go over here to the aux output section, and we're going to plug the blue cable into monitor 1 and the yellow cable into monitor 2. Now what that allows us to do is to use this orange knob section, which is the auxiliary output section, and most mixers have one of these. So you would use the monitor 1 to send this channel effect. So I would send a signal from this channel through these monitors to the Octatrack, which would put delay and reverb on it and play the delay and reverb back through this channel, and the dry signal coming through this channel. And we could basically do that on anything plugged into the mixing board. Here we are on the Octatrack side. So we're just going to make sure that what we've plugged in on the mixer corresponds with the Octatrack. So our main outputs on the Octatrack, of course, were the green and the orange in the left and right. So we're going to plug that into main output A and main output B on the Octatrack. Octatrack has 4 stereo outputs, so I could also use another channel if I wish. But what we're going to do is we're going to take what we're sending from the auxiliary channel in the mixer and plug that into the input here on the Octatrack, and I'll just use input A and B. So we use the blue for the left and the yellow for the right. Now we've made sure that the inputs from the Octatrack are going into the inputs on 19 and 20 here on the mixer, and we've made sure that the outputs from the auxiliaries are going into input A and B on the Octatrack. So what this will allow us to do is to use this orange section here, the auxiliary section, to send a dry signal to the Octatrack to be affected and returned on channels 19 and 20. Over here are my main monitor 1 and monitor 2 output levels. So this will allow me to send a dynamic of effect to the Octatrack without overloading the signal on any individual channel. So as we go over here and we turn up the monitor 1 and the monitor 2 channels, we are able to hear the affected channel, which is coming through on channels 19 and 20. These are pre-faders, so when you use the EQ section, you will be able to hear that being what's affected. As well as you will be able to use the dry signal to send a wet signal to the Octatrack, and then you can remove the dry signal. Just have the affected channels. which is a wonderful effect I really like using a lot. And this is my favorite way to set up a mixer, so it gives you so much dynamic. The one thing you really want to be aware of is that these monitor effects will send a feedback loop to your effects unit. So if you send monitor through the effects unit back to this channel, you're going to get a feedback loop and it's going to be bad. So you don't really want to do that. Keep that in mind. Always make sure that these channels are not affected. Some mixers actually will allow you to disable that if you have it set up that way, but that's a caveat that you really need to know, and you don't want to do that. Thanks for checking it out.